Well, I tell you, it just gets deeper and deeper with these Freemasons. So I had no idea about the history of how Freemasonry actually got started here in the United States. Um, After doing a little bit of digging, seeing that after the mysterious disappearance, and some people believe murder, of a New Yorker. This was a businessman. His name was William Morgan. I think on some websites I saw Captain Morgan. But this was a man who threatened to expose the Masonic secrets. So he was against the Freemasons. He threatened to expose some of their Masonic secrets. And he, along with other political groups, apparently campaigned to drive Masons out of office and close down their lodges. This website, slate.com, it basically breaks it down and says that, okay, so the mysteries of the Masons. It says in 1826, a shadowy cabal kidnapped a man who had threatened to expose the rights of the secretive brotherhood. American politics were never the same again. To this day, nobody knows the true fate of Captain William Morgan, a failed businessman and citizen of generally low repute. Morgan was abducted from his home in New York in the morning of September 11th, 1826. Note the date. He soon found himself in a jail cell about 50 miles away, in prison for a debt of $2.65. The whole ordeal was doubtless confusing to Morgan, a man best known for his drinking. It likely became even more confusing when a stranger paid his bail. But that man had no intention of setting him free. Morgan emerged from the jail only to be forced into a carriage, reportedly screaming out murder while he was being dragged away. This is the last anyone ever saw of Morgan, about whom little else is certain. Some said that he was not really a military captain, while others claimed that he had earned that title in the War of 1812. Others asserted that both theories were technically true, that he fought the British in 1812 as a pirate seeking plunder and was granted a pardon for his misdeeds by the president after the war. What we do know is that whatever happened to him, trapped inside that northbound carriage and fearing for his life, Morgan never came back. Is that chilling or what? Screaming out murder. That's the last time anyone ever saw or heard from this man. And so when people ask, what's the big deal with Freemasonry? Other than it's rooted in a cabal, basically a mafia, that it is out for blood, that they kill people to keep them quiet. And how is that making good men better, I ask you? Well, there was another person who definitely felt as Morgan did with his anti-Freemasonry beliefs. And none other than our President of the United States, John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams. Now, John Quincy Adams, let's see. I'm not going to get this wrong. Well, he was, of course, the son of President John Adams. And let's see, a little quick search here. Okay, yes, he served as the 6th president of the United States from 1825 to 1829. And he was the son of John and Abigail Adams. Okay, served as our sixth president of the United States. I should have known that. Haha. But he was an American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, and diarist who served as the sixth president of the United States. So, yes, that is John Quincy Adams. That John Quincy Adams, okay? Not other John Quincy Adams that I've seen, their identities, and those are different John Adams and John Quincy Adams. But this is our sixth president of the United States who passionately opposed Freemasonry and all that it stood for. And you can see that in his letters, okay? He wrote many letters to different people voicing his concern, his deep concern, and beliefs against Freemasonry, okay? So he voiced his oppositions towards Freemasonry. So, when we look at one of the first letters that I saw, it was a letter vindicating the Venerable John Adams from the malignant charge of supporting Freemasonry. He was writing to clear the name of his father, who had been mistakenly linked to Freemasonry. Others had apparently said that or accused his father of being a Freemason, and so John Quincy Adams, to clear his father and to clear his name, his reputation, and to remove the defamation against him, went out on this quest through letters, writing letters to a series of people to tell them that, no, my father, John Adams, was never a Freemason. So the letter here, dated August 22nd, 1831, says, "Sir, the letter from my father to the Grand Lodge of Massachusetts, which Mr. Shepherd has thought proper to introduce into his address, was a complimentary answer to a friendly and patriotic address of the Grand Lodge to him. In it he expressly states that he had never been initiated into the order. He therefore knew nothing of their secrets, their oaths, their penalties. Far less had their practical operations been revealed by the murder of William Morgan. Nor had the hand of the avenger of blood been arrested for 5 long years, and probably forever, by the contumacy of witnesses setting justice at defiance in her own sanctuary. Nor had the trial of an accomplice in guilt marked the influence of one juror under Masonic oaths upon the verdict of his 11 fellows. That Mr. Shepherd should resort to a letter from my father, a professedly uninitiated man." So he called his father an uninitiated man, "to liberate the Masonic institution from the unrefuted charge of unlawful oaths, of horrible and disgusting penalties and secrets." It says, so first, it continues on, secrets, "the divulging of which has been punished by a murder unsurpassed in human atrocity, is to me passing strange. All that my father knew of Masonry in 1798 was that it was favorable to the support of civil authority, and this he inferred from the characters of intimate friends of his and excellent men who had been members of the society. The inference was surely natural, but he had never seen the civil authority in conflict with Masonry itself. To speak of the Masonic institution as favorable to the support of civil authority at this day and in this country would be a mockery of the common sense and sensibility of mankind." So I'm going to stop right there. So he is calling out, and this is a letter to, once again, several friendly letters to Colonel William L. Stone, a Mason in good standing who wrote a book in defense of Freemasonry. Mr. Adams argued from Colonel Stone's admissions that no loyal citizen or Christian man could belong to the order. And he went on, he copied, what is it? So it says, and he copies at length on the form of an oath which Colonel Stone admits was taken by the entered apprentice, the first degree of Masonry. He gives part of this oath as follows: I, A.B., do of my own free will and accord, in the presence of God and of this right worshipful law, the form of an oath which Colonel Stone admits was taken by the entered apprentice, erected to God and dedicated to Holy Saint John, hereby and hereon most solemnly and sincerely promise and swear that I will always hail, forever conceal, and never reveal any of the secret or secrets of Masons or Masonry which at this time or at any time hereafter shall be communicated to me as such, except it be to a true and lawful brother or within the body of a just and regular lodge. All this I solemnly and sincerely swear with a full and hearty resolution to perform the same without any evasion, equivocation, or mental reservation, under no less a penalty than to have my throat cut across from ear to ear, my tongue plucked out by the roots, and buried in the rough sands of the sea, a cable's length from shore. Then they have their nerve to say, so help me God, to keep me steadfast in this obligation of an entered apprentice. So clearly, Mr. Adams writes at length on the unnatural character of the penalty and the horrible ideas suggested by it. He says, it is an oath of which a common cannibal should be ashamed. Even in the barbarous days of antiquity, Homer tells you that when Achilles dragged the dead body of Hector round the walls of Troy, it was a disgraceful deed, and Plato severely censures Homer for even introducing this incident into his poem. A mangled body after death was a thought disgusting even to heathens. The Constitution of the United States and of Massachusetts prohibit the infliction of cruel or unusual punishment even by the authority of law. But no butcher would mutilate the carcass of a bullock or a swine as the Masonic candidate swears consent to the mutilation of his own for the breach of an absurd and senseless secret. Then he went on to show the illegal character of the promise not to reveal any of the secrets or mysteries of Freemasonry to any person except a Mason. This promise, he says, like the administration of the oath, is in its terms contrary to the law of the land. The laws of this and every civilized country make it the duty of every citizen to testify the whole truth of facts deemed by legislative bodies or judicial tribunals material to the issue of the investigation before them. It is also the duty of a good citizen to denounce and reveal to the authorities established to execute the laws against criminals any secret crimes of which he has in manner acquired the knowledge. Now, there is nothing in the arts, parts, or points of the mysteries of Freemasonry which in the trial of a judicial cause or in an investigation of a legislative assembly may not be justly deemed material to the issue before the court or legislature. Of its materiality, the judges or the legislators have the exclusive right to decide. The entered apprentice promises never to reveal to any person under the canopy of heaven that which the laws of his country may, the next day after he makes the promise, make it his duty to reveal to any court or justice before which he may be summoned to appear. The promise is therefore unlawful. The oath is therefore, continues Mr. Adams, a double violation of the law of the land and of the law of God. It is in its own nature a seminal principle of conspiracy. A more perfect agent, says this book, for the devising and execution of conspiracies against church and state could scarcely have been conceived. Then it goes on, he then enumerates the conspiracies hatched by European Masons against civil governments, mentioning Rome, Naples, Portugal, Spain, and Mexico, and says, an obvious danger attending all associations of men connected by secret obligations springs from their susceptibility to abuse and being converted into engines for the overthrow or the control of established governments. The law of Masonry was to them more than that of civil government or of the deity, even when it was known directly to conflict with them. Regarding the only feature of Masonry for which any credit could be claimed, namely the mutual assistance the members give each other, he says, this argument, which has probably made more Freemasons than any other, would be good in its defense were it not for two objections. One of them that the pledge to assist is indiscriminate, making little or no difference between the good or bad nature of the actions to promote which a cooperation may be invoked. The other is that the engagement implies a duty of preference of one member of society to the disadvantage of another who may be in all respects his superior. It establishes a standard of merit conflicting with that established by the Christian or the social system, either of, or both of which ought to be a paramount obligation. There have been men whose rapidity of personal and political advancement it would be difficult to explain by any other cause that this, or I'm sorry, it would be difficult to explain by any other cause than this, that they have generally been understood to be bright Masons. As to the age of Masonry, it is claimed to have originated about the beginning of the last century. Mr. Adams' conclusion, very much out of harmony with the rejoicings now heard in Boston at the approach of the Sir Knights, is this: Masonry ought to be forever abolished. It is wrong, essentially wrong, a seed of evil which can never produce any good. It may perish in the ground. It may never rise to bear fruit, but whatever fruit it does bear must be rank poison. It can never prove a blessing, but by its barrenness. And to that I say amen. Any Freemason today, you see, the only reason I believe, sincerely, that especially high-ranking Freemasons want to partake and be a part of this brotherhood is because they can get away with murder, literally. They want to do evil to them. They want to have brothers in high places to get them off the hook. Oh, your brother is in need. Will a brother help the poor widow's son? You know, they come to court. They have judges who are Freemasons, attorneys, clerks, police officers. Every pillar of society that is supposed to be about equal justice and fairness for all is completely controlled by this brotherhood. So these people have these high-ranking positions, and their job is to get each other off the hook, to keep their secrets, to hide evidence, to let them go scot-free, to allow blood to be on their hands forever. Hiding secrets, keeping secrets, and if they don't keep secrets, to approve of them to cut out their tongues or to cut their throats from ear to ear. This is what Freemasonry represents, people. And so we wonder, oh, well, why are these people getting off all the time? Why hasn't anyone done anything about this? Why isn't this person in prison yet? How many times have we asked those types of questions? How can they not be in prison? I can't believe he was able to get away with that. Those things. Well, just know it's because of this cabal known as the Freemasons and the Shriners, who have taken blood oaths to protect each other, no matter what. So with that, I will end this video. I will do a part 2, probably after the holidays, because John Quincy Adams gave some very compelling arguments, and I'm just going to be reading more and researching this whole thing. But with William Morgan, his disappearance, that is what led John Quincy Adams on this quest, and showing his disdain for this organization, pleading with these people to give it up and to just completely turn away from these wicked and evil deeds and this evil brotherhood. So thank you guys for joining me for this video, and I hope to be with you very soon. If I don't see you before the holidays or get to talk to you, I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and I will be talking to you soon, God willing. Take care.